part of it is the selling part. And so, DARPA, as we know, is sort of central both to the technology space and now the health technology space. And, one of the things I came across a number of years ago that was really revealing to me was that Eisenhower's choice to his defense secretary who created DARPA, his name was Neil McElroy. And so Eisenhower didn't really want competition in the defense space because that was kind of his gig, but he needed a salesperson. And so they needed someone to sort of sell the Cold War and the defense aspects of the Cold War to the American public. And so they chose McElroy, who was actually an advertising executive for Procter & Gamble. And I mentioned a number of times that like my dad was a career Procter & Gamble guy. And again, you've got Ohio in the mix, right? And so again, he wasn't just a salesperson. He was literally in advertising. And, I have a tweet there that talks about like him, setting up, signing the legislation to create the ARPANET and became DARPA. And so you need someone to sell you on it, right? Because you create reality through the story that you're telling. And right now, we are literally navigating information warfare of so many stories that are being thrown out. And then how does one evaluate what you consider quality content, truthful content, character? And, again, I will just say, part of the reason that precipitated us doing this was that there were stories being told about us or how people saw us, that I feel like they're, depending on who you are, the validity of that story, which story you choose, there's two very framed. And so, I trust that people are adults, even though it is weaponized warfare and the information narrative warfare, that people can figure it out, right? Like if you look at people's bodies of work and their intentions, you make your choices and then you live with the choices that you make. And some of us make choices and we follow people that later on we feel like we've changed our opinions about and we shift or whatever. And people might feel that way about me or, what have you. But we do need to be very intentional, because if you just go on autopilot about what you consume, what the media stream is feeding you, what your friends are telling you to watch, you're going to get guided, because literally it's a very treacherous landscape right now. And they know that. And I will say, just, it's kind of a silly sidebar story, but when I was little, Procter & Gamble, actually, they created the soap opera to sell their soaps, right? And so at the time, there was still a lot of, women were at home with the kids and they would be doing their chores during the day, and you might take a break and watch a soap opera. And, my mom, I can't remember which soap opera it was, but she had one that she was watching. And one day my dad came home from work at Procter & Gamble, and I don't know if it was me or my brother, but we ran up and we're like, Dad, Billy ran out into the street and got hit by a car. And my dad's like, oh no, like he's trying to figure out like what neighbor, like what happened. And like, it was on the soap opera.
Oh, Billy.
Oh no, Billy got hit by a car. But like when you're a kid, you don't necessarily fully comprehend. Like, we were still little, like what's reality? Like what, clearly somebody was upset and did it happen? Did it really happen? Like, and you consider that all of education, even like for tiny kids, is now going online and being connected to cybernetic feedback loops in AI. And like, oh, we're just going to get really screwed up with this. We have to remember where it came from. It's a military project.